I would say what it needs is a massive enema.
He is one of the few men who appears to be absolutely fearless, especially when it comes to the constant threats he receives by telephone and in the mail.
Death threats? I'll probably get knocked off. I think with all this notoriety and all this stuff that goes up, that there's always some kooky crackpot who will say, you know, I'll get national headlines if I knock him off, which he will, you know.
This, then, is an opening frame that we put around the self-portrait of one of the most controversial figures in today's gallery of American radicals. On this KPIX report, Saul Alinsky will share with you his searching, personal assessment of himself, as he did with us in this exclusive half-hour titled, I'd Organize Hell. My name is Jack Bunzel. We'll journey to Carmel, California to meet Saul Alinsky in just a few moments.
There is no nice way of getting things changed. And it's time that a good part of our country began to wake up and live in the world as it is, rather than the world as we would like it to be.
Saul Alinsky has become a national byword synonymous with poverty. He is the severest critic of the so-called establishment and its handling or mishandling of enormous sums of money intended to alleviate the misery of the poor. Alinsky is executive director of the Industrial Areas Foundation, a business that will, upon invitation from the poor and from religious groups, move into a ghetto area and literally organize the poor into a powerful, articulate force demanding a voice and a hand in the administration of their own welfare. Tonight on KPIX Reports, it is our privilege to have as guest commentator John H. Bunzel, whose television series, The American Voter, won a national award, author of several volumes on American politics, and an associate professor of political science at San Francisco State College, to comment on the impact Saul Alinsky has already had and may have on the future. I first came across Saul Alinsky through his book, Reveille for Radicals, which came out in 1946. Saul Alinsky now looms as a controversial titan, nationally and in recent times, notably in Oakland. His shadow has loomed tall. $200,000 was raised by the Presbyterian Church with the intent of inviting Alinsky's Industrial Areas Foundation to come in to organize the poor. But in our exclusive meeting with Saul Alinsky some weeks ago, the issue was in doubt. However, his comments on it were characteristically pungent. He lives in the Carmel Highlands in an area that is in itself characteristically opposed to his own activities. We met him at his home, and our first questions concerned the then likelihood that he would make Oakland the scene of his next organization of the poor.
I have stated that any question about our coming into Oakland is purely academic, unless there is an across-the-board, bona fide invitation from the local people themselves. We're not one of these colonial powers like your community funds, or I don't know what you call them in San Francisco, crusades or something. We call them the white feather funds. They're simple representatives of the establishment, and they operate on the basis that they know what's good for the poor people, and by God, the poor people are going to get it whether they like it or not, even if it kills them, you know. We're going to do them good. And just like most of these agencies, they're put into these communities without the people being asked whether they want them, whether they don't want them. Precisely like a colonial power would operate as far as moving into a primitive country, so to speak. Now, we do not do this. We only go in upon the invitation and the request of the people, so that no one can ever say to us that we're outsiders. No one can ever say to us, who asked you to come in here? No one can ever say to us, what's your racket?